Hey everybody, this is Sheets, and I'm going to be going over the NBA DFS slate for FanDuel for tonight. Bobby's out for today, so I'm doing this on my own. Hope you had a good Super Bowl Sunday. And for those of you who did not watch the DraftKings thing, if you guys are getting anything out of this, these content videos or whatever you want to call them, since we've been doing them, we haven't really been charging anything for them. And eventually, once Bobby gets his structure together, he's, obviously going to have to charge something. Haven't figured out in what form that's going to be. But for now, what I'm going to ask, if you wouldn't mind, if you did get something out of it, if you hit something, if you made a score using any of our plays, if you're just, learning anything at all, there is a charitable foundation that a good friend of mine is running a fundraiser for. And if you want to, show a little support, if you could just donate, whatever you can or whatever you want to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society using the link that I put up here, and also I'll put in the description to the YouTube channel. That I spoke to Bobby about it, and I would really appreciate it. And again, whether you like the content or not, if you want to do something here, that'd be great. I mean, any amount is really appreciated. So that will be my way of charging, I guess, for now. If you want to do that, that would be great. Okay. So today, what I'm going to do with FanDuel is similar to the way I usually do it. Is I'm going to go through position by position and highlight who the best plays are, meaning who everybody's going to kind of fall on and who the chalk's going to be. And it is important to know who that is, because you do need to know who the best plays are. But as you also know with DFS, it's not just about the best plays, and we're going to try to give you good pivots and good ideas of kind of how to de-chalkify, as I like to say, your GPP lineups. There's a great amount of value that's already kind of come out with the ruling out of Derrick Rose. That's going to fall on Detroit. Also, it's very possible that, I don't know, maybe Trae Young gets ruled out, which would mean that some Atlanta value could pop. But as of now, I'm holding that Trae Young is going to play. For Boston, Kemba and Marcus Smart were ruled out. So the usual suspects from Boston kind of come into the forefront. There was a rumor that Rubio might be not playing, but he has been upgraded to probable, so I'm presuming he's in. What's his name? Kyrie Irving's already been ruled out, and that's already been accounted for in the projection. So that's not a big deal. So what we're going to do is go through position by position, and we'll see what we can come up with. So first of all, at the point guard position, the two plays who are going to garner the most ownership, which are, quite frankly, going to be the best, I guess, plays. Although, should I say by a lot? Okay, a lot's relative. So let's just say that the two best plays are going to be Reggie Jackson and De'Aaron Fox. Now, Reggie Jackson was coming back off of an injury, slowly brought back, and in the last game, he played a full 30x minutes, including overtime, which it cuts both ways. On the one hand, he's playing a back-to-back following an overtime game, which is certainly no picnic, especially coming off an injury. As a matter of fact, he was actually just given a Q tag for his back. So if you are going to get the 30 minutes out of him, I think it's a great play. But if he becomes way too chalky with kind of a couple of question marks in there, it could be a decent one to fade. So you have to just kind of monitor that. Like right now, I'm showing 50-ish% ownership, so it's kind of interesting. I will say that it is I don't want to say early game. I guess it's not early. It's an 8 o'clock game. So I guess it is possible they stick it to you right after lock at 7 o'clock, but hopefully not. We'll see how that goes. So Reggie Jackson and De'Aaron Fox look to be kind of the quote-unquote best plays. But if you want someone actually who I think is just about as good as both of those guys, that is cheaper than De'Aaron Fox but more expensive than Reggie Jackson, is you can go to the person I just kind of alluded to, and that would be Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio right now is not really showing to garner that much ownership. I'm looking at, I don't know where he is on my list, but whatever it is, I mean, he's not at least for now, popping as such a great value. So we'll just kind of have to see kind of where it goes. But right now, I would definitely take a shot at him. I can't believe that he wouldn't be chalkier though. At 5,500, I actually just don't quite believe it. So I'm just gonna presume that it's gonna be Reggie or Rubio or Fox, and probably all three of them are probably decent chalk. So I don't know if this would be the position where I would try to get an inordinate amount of leverage. Let's put it that way. So let's just move on, I guess. I mean, I guess I could give you some other point guards, but yeah, all right, fine. You want a couple of others? You could try Brogdon or maybe Simmons, pay up for Trae Young. But again, I think those three, Reggie, Fox, and Rubio, I think they're really, really solid. Now, again, if Reggie has health issues, then you can go to Rubio and Fox. But I do think that those three are all really, really solid. Okay, so at the shooting guard position, the top two highest owned, and they are going to be the best plays, are going to be Spencer Dinwiddie and Bruce Brown. So as I said, Derrick Rose being ruled out opens up all these minutes and all this usage for both Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown. I hesitate to use them both in the same lineup, though. So one way you could differentiate yourself is by not playing them both, I guess. They're both going to be really, really popular. So if you fade one of them in each position, then you're at least getting some differentiation and some leverage in that way. So remember, when you're trying to win a GPP, you don't want to have guys take shots from one another. And I just have this feeling that that's what would happen with the Reggie Jackson and Bruce Brown situation. So I don't think I would use them both in the same lineup, but they both do look like really, really good plays. And Spencer Dinwiddie, clearly with what's his name out, with Kyrie Irving out, is going to be a good play. And they didn't really adjust his salary enough to account for it, which is why he's popping in a lot of these projection models. So he's going to be a pretty good play, and unfortunately, he's going to be pretty chalky also. If you want to have I'd say two pivots. So there's two pivots. One you can go up and one you can go down. If you wanted to go up, you can go up to D'Angelo Russell. And what you can do if you wanted to do that is you can run him back with Bradley Beal, who is another guy who could be a pivot at this position. Now, again, this is another guy who where is he? Where'd he go? Oh. Who's probably too expensive. But if you put the two of these guys together, you could get that natural back and forth with these guys, and you can get some interesting correlation. So if you want, you instead of playing Bruce Brown and or Dinwiddie, you could pivot off both of them and go D'Angelo Russell and Bradley Beal. Now you're going to have to use a little body English later on in your lineup, let's put it that way, to make this work. But I think we can make that happen. But if you didn't want to do that, if you wanted to put these other guys back in, like Bruce Brown and or Dinwiddie, another kind of more direct pivot you can make is you could play Karis LeVert from that same Nets team. Now, he's been a little frustrating. He hasn't been really getting big minutes, but, I do think that it's a natural kind of pivot off of Dinwiddie. Like if Dinwiddie happens to not be doing well, I think LeVert will get more minutes, and I think that LeVert could also benefit from minutes with Dinwiddie also. So 4,100 is pretty tempting, I have to say. And if he's going to get less ownership of these guys, which he will, I don't know if he's really going to smash and make your lineup, really kill. But I don't know. Maybe he does have 40-point upside on him with Irving out. So we'll see how this goes. But I think LeVert could be an interesting pivot here. Small forward is kind of similar to the way that it always is on FanDuel. For whatever reason, they always kind of draw you to these Celtics small forwards, especially when one of these guys are out. And today's kind of no exception. Like Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward, they refuse to price these guys over $7K. More to the point, like Hayward, if you compare him to DraftKings, I mean, on DraftKings, Hayward's like almost 8K, where here they didn't do anything. They left him at 6,500. So the two of these guys both look really good. So they're both against Atlanta, which makes sense. And they're kind of difficult to fade. But what you can do is, from a GPP perspective, you can fade one of them, right? I mean, I don't think you have to worry about both of them smashing. I mean, I guess they could. But between him, Hayward, and Tatum, who you all see in this kind of optimal, so to speak, build, right? I don't think that all three of these guys are going to smash enough to hurt you. Although against Atlanta, I've seen it happen. So one thing you could do, once again, at small forward, you could pivot off of these guys. So where do you go? I have three choices for you, and one of them I just hate. The one I hate is Tobias Harris. And the reason why I just hate him, I mean, I don't hate him as a person. He's from Long Island. He's from about 10 minutes from where I live. Really famous around here, actually. But just never seems to do it for me. It's the best I can describe it. Or to put it in math terms, his range of outcomes is not sufficiently wide to hit the ceiling that I need to win a GPP. And so where I think is a cash play, maybe you could play him. But then again, if you're going to play cash games, I'd rather have the better play, that being probably Gordon Hayward. So I don't know if Tobias Harris really fits. I mean, he's certainly a good pivot, like if you want someone different than Hayward, but I don't know if he's going to really get you anywhere. Two other guys. One is going to be Kelly Oubre. And what makes the Kelly Oubre play work is that, number one, he's a little bit worse than the other guys, than Brown and Hayward. What you can do is you can pair him with Dinwiddie and get some correlation there. So that kind of works, right? So again, is Oubre as good a play, in my opinion, as those Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward? No. But given the fact that, he does have a lot of upside, he gets going in high-paced matchups, and the fact that you can pair him with a good play on the Brooklyn side, I think it makes him very, very viable. So the next one is kind of like, I don't want to say disgusting, but I mean, he busted everybody as chalk pretty recently. So I don't know if anybody's going to play him today, but he's in a very similar position, and that's going to be Tim Hardaway. So Tim Hardaway Jr. is in a similar spot with Luka out. It's a little different in that today you don't have Kristaps out. But I am of the opinion that when Kristaps was out, it actually hurt Hardaway a little bit because it made the team a little more guard heavy. I think that it made the guards more, have to take shots more. So that's why Hardaway's shots were kind of limited. He only had like 12 shots in this game. So, and he was awful, if you want to know the truth. But if he then becomes all of a sudden not as highly owned, because let's face it, Brown and Hayward are better plays, and Hardaway's coming off of a real dud, maybe he has a ceiling here. He certainly has 40-point upside if he gets his shit going, so to speak. So he could be my other pivot from here. So on small forward, clearly Brown and Hayward are, to me, the best plays. If you wanted to be boring and not get anywhere, I think you can go Harris. Or if you wanted to kind of just be a little different, you could do what I said before and go to Oubre or to Hardaway. For now, let's just put Oubre in here. So I feel a little more comfortable with this. And this one, as you see, the problem with this is it has LeVert and Dinwiddie, which I don't really like. So let's go back and let's put in maybe Bruce Brown. And then let's fade Reggie Jackson in this build. Right, so let's put Fox in over here. So going to power forward, the best plays, it's really actually kind of close, right? And the thing is that from an ownership perspective, it looks like two guys are starting to separate themselves a little bit, and that's going to be Tatum and Sabonis. And for the reasons I mentioned before, Tatum rates to be a good play. I mean, no Kemba, no Marcus Smart against Atlanta, all that good stuff. He does rate to be a good play, but he honestly is just kind of one of, four guys maybe, right? I actually have like five guys all kind of tied for my favorite power forward. And if you're going to have two guys that are going to get more ownership, like Tatum and Sabonis, these would be situations where I might incline to fade one or two of them. So let's review a couple of the other power forwards that I'm kind of interested in. One of them, which is you'll see fits this bill really nicely, is that's going to be Bjelica. Okay, so because we have Fox in here, we could correlate him a little bit with Bjelica on the same team, and they're not going to really take each other's usage because Bjelica is kind of more of a power forward. So if you wanted to play Fox with Bjelica, that is one way to get off of the Tatum chalk, or to some degree the Sabonis chalk. So this is one thing that you can do. There are two other power forwards, and one of them, the ownership, I just don't quite believe. Just like that Rubio thing, we'll just put it in for now. But as of now, if Kristaps Porzingis is actually going to be, what does it say here? Actually, it's not going to be that low. They're projecting by 15, 20%. That sounds about right. I mean, he does rate to be a good play. I just have this feeling that he's going to get more ownership than this. Then again, you know, on DraftKings, he's so cheap that maybe people will get their Kristaps exposure on DraftKings instead. So that makes a little sense. So Kristaps looks to be a good play. And another guy who I really just don't like playing, but I'll just throw him out there to you, and that's going to be LaMarcus Aldridge. So the problem is that I can't really find anybody to play him with. You know, I don't really like anybody on the Clippers. I don't like anybody else on San Antonio. So I don't know if he's going to fit into a GPP build. So I'll probably end up with something like, you know what you could do? This is what you can do. This is, you can go back to, who did I say? Kristaps. Then you get, so what you have then is correlation with Kristaps and, oh, I know who we're going to get him with. So we got Bjelica and Fox, and then what you could do is, instead of going Oubre, or you could do Oubre. This is going to be fun. Then here you can go down maybe to Tim Hardaway Jr. So then you get Kristaps with Hardaway. You get Oubre with Rubio. You get Dinwiddie with Oubre as well. Okay, excuse me. You get Dinwiddie on the other side of Oubre and Rubio, and you have Fox with Bjelica. So this is looking pretty good, if you want to know the truth. This is not too chalky. This, you know, has a little bit of correlation. And just by going position by position, you can be a little different, you know, and build kind of decent GPP lineups. Now, I'm not going to be able to get 150 in this way, but, you know, I don't play that many on FanDuel anyway. Let's finish up. Let's go to the center position. Let's take a look. Okay, so the good thing about the center position is that, ooh, I know where I'm going here. All right, this is a lock. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 center positions, all of whom are getting very little ownership. I shouldn't say little because they're all getting some, but no one's really kind of standing out as a really popular play. Like the highest owned guy might be 20% right now because, let's face it, there are a lot of good plays here. Between Drummond, Ayton, Vooch, Embiid, Towns, just your kind of your big pay-up options. They rate to be the best plays, and they all rate to have kind of equal ownership. So I'm not really looking to get much of an edge here, but what I am getting is I'm getting, presuming this fits, just really badass correlation here, right? So now I have Karl Anthony Towns and as a run back with Fox and Bjelica, okay? This is pretty badass, right? We're gonna put this in before I forget. And then, like, if you wanted to do other type of builds, right? So hold on, let's go back. Then if you wanted to do other stuff, there was another center which we saw, then they all kind of, you know, have some arguments. Like Vooch, you can't really correlate with anybody, but if you want, you can play Andre Drummond to correlate with Bruce Brown and or Reggie Jackson if you want to go that route. Or you could play not Embiid. Who is the other high price center? Oh, Ayton. So if you want, you could make this a little more of a stack. You could put Ayton with Rubio instead of Oubre, right? And then kind of boost everybody up here a little bit. Or can you get away with all three of these? That's rough. Because if you play three Phoenix guys and don't have Booker, kind of asking for it, right? I mean, I'll go with two, but I don't know if I want to leave Booker out of a three-man stack. Let's put it that way. So Aiden would be fine, but you'd have to kind of rejigger around a little bit. But I don't know. I think the FanDuel, just even going by position, it leads you some, even on a 10-game slate, it leads you to some interesting little game stacks and interesting little 1v1s that, you know, maybe you can get something off of. So I guess that's all I had. You know, I think this is a very easy slate, whatever it is. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be, you know, rule outs that'll make things different, you know, whatever it is. But for now, I think I can do stuff. And hey, you know what? Somebody get something out of it, somebody win, or somebody appreciate it, and click on that link in the subscription, in the description or whatever, and donate to this page or whatever. Me and my friend, I'll be very happy. Let's put it that way. All right, that's it for FanDuel, man. Good luck, everybody, and hope to have a sweat from you guys or for you guys a little bit later.